Welcome back, everybody. Let's do this, guys. Gotta do this, y'all. Okay. Welcome, everybody. If you're just hitting the studio, give us some likes and, of course, share. Remember, we have this show scheduled for about 3 weeks now. And unfortunately, we couldn't do it because I got a lot on my plate. Balogun Zainab is the first in the studio. How you doing, Balogun? How are you doing, Zainab? It's good to have you here, mommy. All right, if you are here, please hit the like button. Yay, that's my sissy. Sissy said, real farm register with your likes when you enter. I beg, tell them, Sissy, where they know. My own sweet, fabulous sister, Sissy, all the way from UK. UK people with the swag. UK people and their wahala. Okay, let me also share this to my Facebook. I need to get some people in from Facebook. This show is going to be fun. We have a lot to cover. We have so much to discuss. In our VIP group, several issues are ongoing. And to be honest, I'm so proud of my sisters and brothers in the real family. My own Adana. Hey, this fine Adana, we get wahala. How you doing, Adana? It's a pleasure to have you here, sister. So we have a lot to cover today. We're going to discover so many things. But first, let us finish the ongoing episode we have on mother-in-laws. I think we spoke about, I thought we did episode 1 and 2, but it's like I'm only remembering episode 2. And for those who were not here when we did the show, you can just hop around the channel. You're going to find it. It's called, I think, 8 Types of Mother-in-Law. That was the title. And we identify various types of mother-in-law. We identify the ideal mother-in-law, the first wife mother-in-law, the manipulative one, the uninvolved, the spiritual one, the judge and jury, the monster-in-laws, and the controlling ones. I think we identify a couple of them. So today's show is going to be a very interactive one. We want to learn. This is the solution show. I pray by the power of Almighty God, everybody going to be married. And for those who are already married, I pray God will continue to uphold your home. Now, the topic of in-laws is one you can't escape from, no matter what. It doesn't matter how you think you got everything under control. In-laws are always part of every marriage. Yeah. The only marriage you don't have in-laws issue are marriages whereby maybe your father-in-law don't buy, your mother-in-law don't buy, you know. So you got your husband or your wife all to yourself. But in majority of the marriages we have out there, you're always going to have your father-in-law, your mother-in-law, sister-in-law, brother-in-law as part of your marriage. No this and no peace. I know the rhetorics these days is that, oh, when you are married, it's just you and your wife, it's you and your husband, no one else matters, anybody don't count, just face your wife, face your husband, that is it. I got to be honest with you. That rhetorics applies in America, or maybe London or Europe. So far as you're an African, and I don't care what about part of Africa you come from, As far as you're an African, you cannot say it's just me and my husband or me and my wife, no one else. You are lying. You're lying. Your husband, your wife did not drop from heaven. Someone gave back to them. Somebody raised them. Someone groomed them, provided for them, nurtured them, build them up into the man or woman they are today. So if you're getting married, have it at the back of your mind that these people who happens to be the parent are the one who actually made your wife or your husband who they are. So whether you like it or not, they're going to be part of your marriage. There is no escape from that. And the earlier you realize that they're always going to be there, better for you and your wife or you and your husband. Now, fine, we know they're going to be there. We know they are part of the family. They are what we call the extended family, but they come with their own baggages, and we can't shy away from that. No matter how decent, how great your husband or your wife is, how she is the woman of your dream or he is the man of your dream, their parents are always part of the deal. And these parents will come with their own baggages. How you manage them as a couple now determines the success of your marriage. And if you're just gonna do I married my wife, it's just me and my wife alone, or I'm married to my husband, everybody should just leave us alone, let us enjoy our marriage, blah 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 blah. Not there. Hey, it's okay if your husband or your wife is just like you, they don't care about nobody else, they just focus on their spouse and they cut everybody off. Good, you're on the same page, it will work for you. But if one of you is attached to the parents, if your wife loves her mom and her dad so much and she has dreamt of having them as part of her life and part of her marriage, it doesn't matter if you as a man, you think, why should we talk about your father or your mother? Bro, go collect. And if you are the wife who think, okay, I married him, now I'm the wife, everybody should step away, nobody should come into our marriage, this marriage is between me and my husband, any other person, they are not welcome. And your husband is the one that was raised with everything the mother can raise, or he's raised by a single mom. And you are expecting this man, after he marries you, he should forget about his mom. It's not going to work. There are always going to be issues. However, many of these issues can be managed. And managing those issues is the reason why we are having this show right now. So if you are just joining us, do me a favor, hit the like button. Also, make sure you tap on the notification bell so you will know whenever we go live on this platform. Now, I already shared the link for those who want to hop in the studio so we can get this conversation going. Please do not hesitate to come in. This is a very important one. I'm expecting everybody to contribute because we all have this problem. Only few couples do not have father-in-law, mother-in-law drama. Just few. The rest of us, we are dealing with it. However, some of us know how to manage these issues better than others. And that is why we are here to talk about it so you can learn. Don't be a stranger. All right, guys, hit the like button. I'm seeing only 4 likes so far. And right now, we have 13 people watching already. If you are not liking the video, you are not supporting this channel, I will start dragging you guys like Daddy Friezo. I will ask you to pop my money gun now, even though we don't get money gun for this channel. I'll just say, pop my money gun. In fact, or I will threaten you. If you don't like this video, you are not going to heaven. Yes. Because Africans, once we threaten Africans with heaven, everybody they quickly adjust. Sorry. Give me a second, guys. Just a moment. Sorry, my grandma just rang my doorbell, so I'm calling the grandkids to go open the door for her. All right, let's get this conversation going. I see Sister Chinye in the building. What's up, Sister Chinye? And I also see my sister Kendra, Sanusi, AJ. You're already here, dropping it. AJ said, parent will always be part of your marriage. Marriage is even sweeter if you are able to manage them and their baggages very, very well. Absolutely. Sister Chinye, today, we never enter the gas boast. Now, 2 sessions we do here. We go first we're going to handle this mother-in-law situation first, and then we will now move to all these crazy posts we saw on Dr. Shola's page. I have my own coconut head opinion, so this show might be hot too. We all should get ready. But first, let us handle this mother-in-law situation. Now, the first question is, I need you guys to drop in the chat, what is the best way to handle mother-in-law problems? That is the first question. Please, everybody, if you are part of the show, don't be a stranger. Drop your opinion. Let us start dissecting this situation. Okay, what is the best way to manage mother-in-law situation? That's our first question. So I'm going to be reading your comment, and again I'm going to share the link so we can have our sisters and brothers hop in the studio and help us make it make sense. So let us start with that. What is the best way to handle mother-in-law situation? I see our birthday baby in the building, Sister Natu. Happy birthday, Sister Natu. Please, everybody, give Sister Natu a shout out. You know, Sister Natu is one of our top contributors here. She always bring it 100. Happy birthday, Sister Natu. And it can't be said the day where we discuss mother-in-law. Now it can be the second day after your birthday celebration, Sister Natu. Hey, Sister Natu, you better be a good mother-in-law. All right. Let us get this going. Please drop your opinion in the comment. What is the better way to manage mother-in-law situations? Sister Shia said, hopefully not a mother-in-law situation like Patient Ozoko movie characters. Hey, you can't manage that one. No. If your mother-in-law is somebody like Patient Ozoko, just go run from pastor to, you better start going from pastor to Babalawo house. If you have a hot mother-in-law like Patience Ozoko, forget. These people will not stop. All this HOA, them and their emails. I beg, man, leave me now. I'll too much. If your mother-in-law is like Patience Ozoko, just they go church. That's the only solution I can recommend. Begin call on pastor, because Patience Ozoko know they take a easy. Yeah, happy birthday to Sister Natu. All right. Thank you, Sissy. Sissy said, learn to ignore some of their nonsense and limit the interaction with mother-in-law where possible. Yes, that's a good one. And for those who may not understand that aspect of limiting your interaction where possible, it simply means that you have to set boundaries. Let me go and find my girl. Where is Timby first? Today is Tuesday now. Timby is supposed to be free. Make it not be say all these boys with Tiny trousers have come and hijacked my baby. Oh. Simbi, where you at? Simbi is usually the first to hit the studio. All right, that's a good one. Thank you, Sisi, for that one. It's very important you limit your interaction where it's necessary. Now, remember, we have all types of mother-in-law. If you have an ideal mother-in-law, relating with an ideal mother-in-law is very easy. No, it won't stress you at all. An ideal mother-in-law is not in competition with you. She just wants what is good for your home. An ideal mother-in-law is the type of mother-in-law you would like to address as your mom, because she's always there giving motherly advice. She's not going to be in your business. She's going to allow you and your husband or you and your wife to live your life. In fact, most ideal mother-in-laws are mainly concerned about the kids. You see them come around, they are just after their grandchildren. The only time you get to have issue with them is if you are maltreating the grandchildren or you are denying them access to the grandbabies. That is when you can start having problem with an ideal mother-in-law. But outside ideal mother-in-law, if you have the first wife mother-in-law, remember we described the first wife mother-in-law as those one who has a very strong bond with their son. Let me show you an example of an ideal mother-in-law. Let me show you. You see my screen right now? Look at the screen. The person you see on the screen, do you recognize her? I should tell you guys who she is. That is Burna Boy and his mom. Shout out to Burna Boy's mom. I so much love that auntie. I think her name is Bose Ogunu. I love her so much. I respect what she's doing with her son, how she cares about her son, how she's trying to protect her son and all that. But we also note that she has this strong bond with her son. And the kind of relationship these two have going on is what we describe in the context of this show as the first wife mother-in-law. Nothing anybody will tell me. Burna Boy's mom is a perfect example of a first wife mother-in-law. She is married to Burna's boy. Ooh. I don't know if you guys are not getting any knowledge from this. Let me know. Okay. Now, don't get it wrong. When we say the first wife mother-in-law, we are not saying the first wife mother-in-laws are terrible mother-in-laws. No, far from it. In fact, I think the vast majority of us African men, we have a first wife mom. And a lot of African sisters, when they are married to us African men, they automatically inherited the first wife mother-in-law. And why is it so? You see, in Africa, we are so attached to our mom, and we want to protect our mom with every instinct in us. That is why you will see a successful man want to build house. The first thing, even though he built the house and say, okay, I build house for my parent, in his mind, he's building that house for his mom. Our mom always have like free pass in everything. I don't know, maybe it's because of our struggle, but we African men, we love our mom so much. I no go lie for you. So if you are married to us, please go back and watch the beginning of this show. Like I said, you cannot be married to a man and assume that, okay, now I'm married to you, there should be no mother-in-law, it should be just you and I. It doesn't work with us African men. So permit me to say that majority of the African men you're going to be married to, their mom will fall into this category most of the time. And that is the first wife category. And if you are married to a man who already has this first wife as a mother-in-law, forget Amo. It's gonna be hard for you to convince that man about his mom. In fact, you're gonna have to accept the mom, or you will continue to have issue with the husband. Now, some first wife mother-in-law, they are not terrible, like I said. It's just that they've been attached to their son so much that many times they disrespect boundaries. A lot of times they do things forgetting that their son now has a woman in his life, and they are supposed to limit some of the things they do around the house or with their son. They are supposed to recognize that now that their son is married, the wife is supposed to be the first priority. Why they will have to take the back seat and understand that, okay, my son has to focus on his wife more now. A lot of first wife mother-in-law, they don't respect that. So let me know what you think. How can we manage this mother-in-law situation? So I'm gonna take some comment here real fast. Mercy Kendra said, to handle a mother-in-law, to handle a mother-in-law who gives problem, the best is to set boundaries and excuse yourself from conversation that are irrelevant or that might cause problems. Thank you, Kendra. That's a very good one. And Kerry said, the way to manage mother-in-law is set boundaries. Consider the reasons behind her behavior. Avoid her when possible. Maintain your self-respect. Practice acceptance. That is another excellent one. I'm gonna put a star on that. Princess Kerry also say, stop trying to meet her expectations. Well, I did that one. No. If you are not trying to meet her expectations, you better know how you go around that one. If you are not trying to meet her expectations, you and your husband must be on the same page. Your husband must be the kind of man who also understood the fact that you as the wife, you are not supposed to meet his mom expectation. But if the husband is the coconut head that is actually expecting you to do everything the mother say, you have to follow his mom instruction to the letter, then wahala day. I hope that makes sense. All right. Sanusi said, I think the best way to ignore some of their nonsense characters is know your limits with them and respect yourself by not allowing her to know all about your situation with your hobby. Now you are talking, my dear. That is another excellent way to manage mother-in-law problems. You see, I just don't buy into this idea of, oh, my mommy needs to know everything that is going on between me and my wife or between me and my husband. Please know this and know peace. I know, I get it. As a woman, you are closer to your mom or you're closer to your mother-in-law or something. But don't be that wife or husband that in any case you run to your mother-in-law or you run to your parents to tell them what is going on in your marriage. Hey, that thing go backfire. It will backfire. And whenever I see many sisters or brothers who are complaining that my in-laws are stressing me out, my mother-in-law don't let me enjoy my marriage, my mother-in-law say this, my mother-in-law say that, my mother-in-law is always getting involved in our business, I always ask them, who among you is the whistleblower? Welcome, Peanut. How you doing? Welcome, my sister. So I always ask, like, who among the two of you is the whistleblower? One of you is taking your issues, the issues in your marriage, one of you is taking it to your parent. And this is where I usually advise my brotherhood. As a man, I will say this and I will say it again. I'll still come to that when I'm giving my own opinion on how to manage mother-in-law. I always like to tell my brotherhood, stop complaining to your family members about your wife. Please, stop reporting your wife to your mom. Hey, mommy, have you seen what Janet has done? Can you imagine yesterday? I told Janet that Janet should take the children to school, and when she come back, she should prepare pounded yam. And Janet had the effort to tell me she also went to work. I came back from work, there is no food in the house. Bro, don't be that kind of man that bring your wife's business to your mom. And sisters, please listen. I know the saying these days that, oh, there are no good men out there. The men out there now, they are nonsense men. No, we still have plenty good men out there. Sometimes you don't just have the skills or understanding on how to deal with some of these men. And where some of these come to play after marriage is if you also run to your parent to report your husband. There are some sisters that they and their mom, they are 5 and 6, especially if they are first daughters or if they are last daughters. Sisters, you know now, I'm gonna tell me if I lie. There are many sisters out there. They are 5 and 6 with their mom, like they're almost twin with their mom. They told their mom everything. Now, mama know what's going on. Even some, if their husband no sleep with them, they go tell their mama. If their husband just bought something, they go tell the mama. Anything the husband do, mommy, have you seen what John has done now? Mommy, John is beginning to piss me off. Oh, mommy, come and talk to John. Oh, mommy, come and talk to John. Hey. You failed to recognize that your mom is your mom. Your mom is not John's mother. John may respect your mom because she's the in-law, but there are limits to what your mom can tell John. And John will not begin to see her as being overstepped. Some of you ladies are the one that brought disrespect to your mom because you talk too much. You told your mom everything. Remember, your mommy loves you. Yes, your mommy like your husband. He's the son-in-law, but your mom will always love you more than your husband. The same goes to the brothers. You are telling your mommy everything about your wife. Your wife no do this one. You don't know. Mommy, you see what my wife is doing now? Mommy, come and talk to my wife. Janet is pissing me off, mommy. I will slap this Janet one day. Brother, you are a baby husband. Your mommy loves you more than Janet. Trust me. You guys, if you remember, one of the mother-in-law we also identify is the judge and jury mother-in-laws. If you remember, if you watch that clip, that show, the last show we did, the judge and jury mother-in-law. As a man, when you go to your mom and you start complaining about your wife to your mom, if your mom is the judge and jury type of mom, your mom will judge your wife. In fact, some mother will hop into the vehicle and come to your house and say they come to talk to their daughter-in-law. Sometimes, if you even watch some African movies, you would think it's just a movie. It's not a movie. Some of the things that have been displayed in those movies, some of the stuff they depicted in the movies, what is actually happening in so many marriages. A husband mom will come to the house and tongue lash the wife. Janet, you remember when we came to marry you? We pay your parent money. We did everything. You cannot come to my son's house now and you want to control my son. You are not obeying my son. You are not being submissive to my son. Janet, if you want to stay in this house, You better do what my son asks you to do. And after your mom has come to the house and raise all kind of abuse on Janet, your wife, you expect Janet to be happy, Abby? And the day Janet will snap, one day Mama will come to the house and she will start running her mouth as usual. And Janet will be like, Mommy, hey, Mommy, I beg. Now only you born picky. This is my husband's house. Go to your husband's house. Gaga. That is the day your mom's respect has gone from 100 to 0. So we are learning here. We are finding solution to mother-in-law situations. Do not report your wife to your mom. I think in one of this show, I don't know, maybe it was my bro, Man of Prestige show, but I think I still mentioned it in my own show. And I said, and I told you guys that if you are the type who report your wife or you tell your family member so many negative stuffs about your wife, you are already ruining your marriage. And the same goes to women. If you speak negative, anytime you want to talk about your spouse to your family member, all you are saying is to highlight all the bad thing he did or how he mistreated you or something. What you don't know is that you are codedly recruiting your family to hate on your husband. And the same goes to men. You are always quick to go and tell your family member all this negative stuff about your wife. And you don't even tell them all the good things the wife or the husband is doing. Watch it. You are the one you are building an army of haters to come for your husband. That's why I encourage couples. Say good things about your husband or your wife to your family. When you see wives or husband that are being disrespected by their in-laws, their spouse hand is in it. They don't live in that house with the spouse. I don't know if you guys are getting what I'm explaining here. This is just my own advice to you guys. Your family members, your dad, your mom, your sister, your brother, your everybody, they are not living in your house with you. Once they start disrespecting your husband or they are disrespecting your wife, they are simply going off on your spouse based off what you told them about him or her. But when you go to your family, anytime you want to speak about your wife, you are telling your family how amazing your wife is, how she has been a great woman, a good mother to your children. You tell them how your wife loves them and respects them. Your family mind will change. They don't have any reason to attack your wife. And the same goes to women. When you go home, all you tell your brother, your sister, your mama, your papa is those things your husband do that does not align with you or is not meeting your expectation. You are already offering your husband to them on a platter of gold. You are indirectly telling them that, let me roast him. And then when things are rosy, when things are sweet between you and your husband, you now attend a family function and then they start disrespecting your husband. He can't talk. Your sister won't greet your husband. Just, hey, Castle. And now you have been like, why would you treat my husband like that? Why would you look down on my husband? Auntie, you are the one that told your family members that your husband is a nonsensical man. Okay? And the same goes to brothers. Your younger sister come visiting and your younger sister is disrespecting your wife in your own house. Where do you think she got it from? It's from what you told your mama, that your mama now told your sister that your wife is doing in the home. So your wife is coming out with this big ego, trying to come and show your wife that your wife doesn't deserve you. This is my brother's house. So managing in-laws are one of the very vital aspects of marriage that, in my own opinion, I think people are not paying attention to before they get into marriage. They don't factor that area at all. Is anybody here now that can tell me that before they got married, they went to counseling and your relationship with your mother-in-law or father-in-law was part of the major topic of discussion? No. They will brush it, they will touch on it. They say, hey, you have to respect your in-laws, and you have to watch your boundaries. You have to know that this marriage is between you and your wife. This marriage is between you and your husband. Whatever happened, keep it between yourself. But you can never have 2-3 sessions dedicated to managing in-laws. And yet, we have many of our sisters in marriage today that the mother-in-laws are stressing them out. We have a lot of brothers in marriage today that they can't even stand their in-laws because nobody taught them how to manage the situation. All right. So we've asked this question. Again, happy birthday, Sister Natu. My own big sister, Sister Natu. So we're saying, what is the best way to manage mother-in-law situations? And people have given us several suggestions. Sanusi is still saying here, try to stay away from the problem whenever she brings it on. Try to tolerate her by not getting into argument with her. Thank you. So with that being said, I'm going to move on to number 2, how to manage your mother-in-law. And we're going to talk about, let me even finish it so that people will understand. How to respect your in-laws. How to respect your mother-in-laws. Okay? So, let's consider this one. Drop in the chat any way you think people can respect their mother-in-laws. And I'm going to talk about this respect for a minute here. Balogun Zainab said, it depends on the mother-in-law character. And if I can't bear it anymore, I will just ignore whatever she's saying. That's another good one. And Kerry said, open communication. Have an honest conversation about your feeling. Stay calm. Keep your emotions in check during interactions. Excellent. Excellent. Queen Otagada, what's up, mama? I'm with you, boss. All right, let us look at this other angle real quick. And I need our big senior sisters to jump into this one. How do you respect your mother-in-laws? Okay. Can you say communicate politely but firmly when your mother-in-law oversteps or tries to impose her will? Let her know you and your spouse make the decision for your household. Don't argue or get defensive. Fine, absolutely. Now, let me know, what are your takes? How do you think you should show respect to your mother-in-law? This one is key. Thank God. My sisters from Prestige Farm, they know say respect na big deal for me. Like, just like many African men, we carry respect put for our head. That respect, we must get it. The same goes to the parents. Sister Natu said, what does the mother-in-law call respect? Thank you, Sister Natu. Oh, you see, that's why I love this sister. I'm going to talk a little bit about respect, because I see that in modern marriages, we have lost what it takes to respect people. Now, Sister Natu just asked, what does the mother-in-law call respect? You see, this right here is the reason we did the first show, and we highlighted the 8 types of mother-in-laws. If you missed that show, please go back and watch it. It will help you in your marriage. Now, the 8 types of mother-in-laws we identified so far, each one of them has a couple of things they accepted as being respectful. To some mother-in-law, when you allow them to do whatever shenanigans they want to do, that is you being respectful. To some of them, meeting their expectations. They want to control your home. They want to tell your husband what to do, and they want to tell you how to live your life. That is what they called respect. To some husband parents, they actually want to override the wife. It's like the wife, Jesus. It's like the wife was married to serve them. I remember back in Nigeria, growing up in the village, sometimes some wives has to go to their mother-in-law's house to wash her clothes, cook for her. In fact, they do all kinds of work to the mother-in-laws. In other words, those wives, they have to meet the expectation of the mother-in-laws. And to those mother-in-laws, that constitutes respect to them, which is an inconvenience in general. So, what do they think is classified as respect? Please take note. If you can't recognize what your mother-in-law regarded as respect, there is no way you can manage their expectations and your own expectation. It's key. It's just like husband. I remember one time when we were having this conversation in the Man of Prestige backstage, and I always said, respect. A woman must respect the husband. So, and my sisters will be like, what did the man will determine how the wife will respect him. And I will be like, no. In African setting, you have to first of all figure out what this man regarded as him being respected. And I'm saying that because from my own point of view, African men are somehow easy to handle. If you know what grinds their balls, you know, say, we African men, we are an ego, we are 5 and 6. Our ego is off to the roof. And if you want to capture African man now, just massage his ego. He will start yielding to you. It's almost the same thing here. So if you have a mother-in-law situation that you have to deal with, it's very important. It is imperative that you know what mama consider as respect. And then you go ahead and offer it to her. Now, if what she considers as respect is actually a no-no, you can't tolerate it. You can't offer it. It's going beyond what you can package and present to her, my sister. That's when the next thing come into play, and that is communication. So please, I don't know if I'm articulating this very well, but let me just quickly rewind so that we can still make a lot of sense out of it. I said the first thing is you have to know how to manage your mother-in-law situation. And after that, you need to know what constitutes respect. I actually say how to respect your mother-in-law, and Sister Natural made it make sense by saying, what does she consider as you being respectful towards her? And then I mentioned that, look, if what mama is expecting, if what mama categorized as being you respecting her is something that is beyond you, is something that is enslaving you, that is making your life miserable in your marriage, that's when you move on to the next stage, which is communication. And this one is powerful. A couple of sisters here have already mentioned this communication angle already. Communication. Now, when we say communication, to me, in my own opinion, as Uncle Beno, I will always just tell you what I think, and then you can help me make it make sense. To me, when it comes to this communication, the first line of communication is between you and your spouse. Yes. Let's paint a scenario here. Whenever mama comes visiting, let's just start like this. Whenever mama is around, mama like to barge into your room, your master's bedroom. It doesn't matter what your husband got going. Mama just like to come inside, sit on the bed, and start having conversation with your husband. And to mama, that privilege, that no limit, no boundary, unrestricted access of her coming into your room, your bedroom, to talk to her son, and you politely greeting her, stepping out of the room. Mama consider that as respect. While everything within you are already boiling. You are already looking at it that, what? So even in my own husband's house, I have no privacy. Mama can just barge in whenever mama wanted. And to make matter worse, your husband might not even see that as a problem. So now, mama, feel free. Mama is happy. Anytime I go to my husband's room, I go to my son's room, I talk to my son. And even some mama even will have the audacity, after they barge into the room and they want to discuss with their son, if you be saying your matter, they won't talk, so they will even command the wife to excuse them. And this is not right. Now, if you refuse to step out of the room, or if you take it up with mama and say, no, mama, you cannot come into my room and tell me to vacate the room for you. This is my space. This is my husband. This is me and my husband's privacy you are stepping on. The next thing, mama will call you name. Mama will say you are disrespectful. So how do you now handle this? That is when it boils down to communication. So you now have to first establish communication with your husband. And this is a very, very delicate discussion, because to your husband, some men will just believe, this is my house, this is my mom. Mom can go to wherever she wants to go in the house. So in other words, the husband is not seeing mama unlimited access to your bedroom as a problem. So once you start this communication and you be like, babe, I have something to discuss with you. I like mama. I love mama. And I respect mama a lot. But I'm not okay the way mama just barged into our bedroom anytime she wanted. At least, as a wife, I deserve some privacy in my home. And if the husband is the type that in brain still they correct, the husband will start looking into what you are saying like, oh, I'm so sorry. Mama is not supposed to be coming into our room like that. You know what? Let me talk to mama. Take note of that point. When the husband says, let me talk to my mom, that's a husband that understands your feelings. The husband that knows that the mom is already suffocating you in your own house. And when he says, let me talk to mama, that is the right approach. If you go ahead and talk to mama yourself, you are just adding fuel to fire. So, in other words, take note of this, and I'm going to use that to establish our next point here. Do not be the one to confront your in-law. Buy this my advice, and you will see how far it will help you. In other words, avoid confrontation. That's the next advice I can give. When you have issue ongoing and you establish communication with your partner, let the person whose parent is the source of the problem deal with it. Sisters, let me know if you agree with me or not, because we are here to learn. Maybe my own approach is kind of wrong. Please drop it in the comment. Let me know. If you are trying to be the one to correct your in-law, hey. You better be ready for what's coming. No? You better be ready for what's coming. So, avoid confrontation with your in-law. Avoid trying to say, I can't take this no more. Let me talk to mama. Let me talk to mama. My mama cannot come home and do this. Mama cannot do that. Mama, hey. You see, in your attempt, while you are attempting to manage the situation, confrontation will make you become the villain. Everybody will now blame you. Even your partner will turn on you. This thing is what is happening in a lot of homes. This is why many marriages that are scattering here and there, if you remove cheating, you remove financial situation, you remove abuse, and you still have problem in a marriage, check well. The hands and fingers and feet of the in-laws are involved. So, my advice to you, sisters, do not be the one to confront your mother-in-law. Rather, establish communication with your spouse. Now, it might take a while before this communication becomes effective. I don't know whether we are in class, but let me just tell you from my own personal experience and from what I've seen older adults, people who have been married for 45 years, 40 years, what they've told me over and over again. This communication is not your regular communication. Okay? This communication is not the one that you just talk about it and you think it will just sink immediately you mention it. No. It takes a while. In fact, with men, it takes longer. If your husband's mom is the problem and your husband loves his mom and your mother-in-law is the first wife type of mother-in-law, it's very hard though. Also, if the mother-in-law is like the manipulative type, it's very hard though. You can't just say, I will talk to my husband and then my husband will understand. Your husband will not get it overnight. And that is where you need a lot of patience. You need plenty patience. So when you get into that communication mode. So let's go by the scenario I painted here. You have a mother-in-law that does not respect your boundaries. She comes to your house, she go to your kitchen, she dip hand in your soup, she do whatever she wants, she barge into your private room, your master's bedroom at will. You know, sometimes there are some women even share their experience. Sometimes you go out, you come in, the next thing is you saw your mother-in-law and your husband, they are in your matrimonial bed. No negative thing is happening, but they are just talking, mother and child. Or maybe your husband is lying down, your mother-in-law is sitting on at the edge of the bed, and they are having this conversation, and you just step in, and this is your master's bedroom. The one place mama is not even supposed to come in unless it is absolutely necessary for her to step in. So when you have all this situation ongoing and you want to fix it, your next line of action is to establish communication with your husband, to let your husband know that, babe, this is not supposed to be. And this is one thing I will advise you do. If you really want to drive the message home, always put your husband or your wife on the spot by saying, babe, imagine if my mother comes around and my mom is doing this same thing that your mom is doing. How would you feel? I'm sorry, I'm a consequentialist. That is how I approach issue. I will tell you, this thing that is going on now, if someone else is doing it, what would be your take? So it might take longer. It might take a month, 2, 3 before your husband finally starts to get the message that, no, Tonio, this is not supposed to be. And the reason you have to be patient is that your husband must be the one to call their parents to order. Your husband must be the one to talk to his mom, not you. Because as African men, our coconut head, we go, how will you go and talk to my mom? Are you trying to train my mom? Are you trying to tell my mom that she's a fool? What do you mean? Who the hell are you to call my mom and you now want to? Aunties, don't do it. Let me just put it that way. Please don't do it. Don't do it. Rather, be patient until your husband knows that, okay, I think my wife is right. Let me talk to my mama. Now, when your husband starts talking to his mom, a good, responsible African man who is the head of the family, he should expect some pushback from his mom. Because the moment he starts telling mama, you are not supposed to come into our bedroom anyhow. Mama, this is our private place. Anytime you want to talk to me, just call me. I will come and meet you. Mama go start drama. And many of these mama, they are very wise. Mama will just tell you, hey, now your wife put you up to this. Your wife is the one that say, you should now not allow me to have freedom in my own son's house. But bros, listen, please listen. You need to know how to walk around your mom for the peace of your family. So I'm going to take some comment now and we will round up. Thank you guys for listening, and I hope everybody, you can learn 1 or 2 things from this. See you all later. Catch you on the other side. Yeah, no problem, Sister Chie. I know. I already see the notification myself. So guys, let me know what you think. And if you come back to watch the replay of this show, please do not hesitate to drop your comment. Let us know what you think. We actually look at one major thing today. Let me just remind you guys. We said, what is the best way to manage mother-in-law situation? So if you come back to watch this, drop your comment along this line. How do you think we can manage a mother-in-law situation? All right. We want everybody to have a good home. We want you to have a perfect marriage. And we want you to enjoy your marriage. But notwithstanding, no marriage is in isolation. When you are married to somebody, the person did not drop from heaven. They have parents. And some of these parents, they won't respect your boundary. They won't do the needful. And still you have to manage them. But you want to manage this parent in a way that it doesn't break your home. It doesn't make your spouse looks bad, and it doesn't cause you guys unhappiness. So I might do some further shows on this topic, but right now, as far as today is concerned, we've done 1 hour exactly. I just want you guys to know that There are several ways you can manage your mother-in-law situation, and one of the best ways to do that is to learn how to respect your mother-in-law. Don't ever confront your mother-in-law, whether you are a man or a woman. Don't ever disrespect your mother-in-law. If the same level of respect you will give to your own parents, give that same grace to your in-laws. Now, your in-laws, they may overstep, they may do everything, but always be on the same page with your spouse. You guys should talk about whatever you feel or you think the in-laws are doing wrong. Establish communication. Communication is key. You see, all marriage experts, they always emphasize communication. Effective communication, not the one of yelling or arguing. No. Communication in this sense is the one whereby you identify the issues and you both figure a solution to the problem you are having. That is effective communication. Don't use the communication as a form of control. Don't use it as a way to whine or nag. Those are not communication. And whenever you are having communication around delicate issues like this, do one thing that I do best, and it works for me every time, almost 100% of the time. Whenever I have issue in my own home and we want to address that issue, that is usually the best time that I spoke calmly. Oh, that is when I always speak calmly. Even my madam will be like, babe, this your calmness, they scare me. The way you are just talking so calm, gentle. And I'll tell her, babe, don't be scared of anything. It's because this is a communication. We have an issue at hand that we need to manage. And I need your input. I need you to understand where I'm coming from. And I also want to understand where you are coming from. By me raising my voice or yelling or being in fighting mode, it won't get us anywhere. So let me borrow you guys that trick, especially men and women too. It works wonder. Anytime there are issues that you have to discuss, delicate issues, speak calmly. If I find myself in this situation right now, the example that I give, where maybe the in-law is overstepping their bound, if I want to approach this, I'll just call my wife. Hey, babe, do you have a minute? I think we need to talk about something. Say you free? And then she'll be like, sure, let me just drop this thing and we talk. And then we'll just go to a quiet place. And I'll be like, babe, no vessel. I just see something we will say, and I really feel somehow about it, and I wanted to let you know so that I can get your own view on the thing. Okay, babe, see, this thing will happen like this. I think it's not supposed to be like that. Say you know now. In fact, I wasn't expecting it to. But as it happened now, how you think say we can manage this situation? Now, when you speak to a woman very calmly, the first thing they do is they want to speak back to you in a calm voice. Only with a woman you will talk to in a calm voice, that she will just bam. She will just go from 0 to 100 in less than a minute. No. You remember what they say about women? They say women are modifiers. Whatever you give to them, they will remodify it, make it as two, and give it back to you. So once you start speaking calmly, you will see that she will relax. She will try to express herself in a way that is not going to agitate you or aggravate the situation. You feel me? So when you have this mother-in-law situation, my advice to you is talk to your spouse about it. Establish communication. Speak calmly. Address the issue. And please, don't do one thing that we used to do mainly in Nigeria. I'm sorry. In Nigeria homes, the problem might be this pen in my hand. But when we want to have communication around it, you start bringing other issues that are not related to the pen issue. You start bringing it into the discussion. It's not going to work. You won't achieve the goal for which you're having that communication. Focus on the matter at hand and make sure at the end of the communication you are both on the same page. All right. And lastly, on managing the mother-in-law situation, avoid confrontation. This one is key, and this one is where I would talk to my sisters mostly. Dear African sisters, confronting your mother-in-law will always make the situation worse. Only confront your mother-in-law either verbally or with any form of aggression if you are ready to leave the marriage. Don't expect that you will run your mouth on your husband's mom and the same husband will be happy with you. It doesn't work like that too. It doesn't work like that. You cannot say, hey, Mama, you talk to me like this. Me say, I talk to you like that. Hey, Mama, take your time. Oh. Mama, they want you. Mama, you they pass your boundary. Never works. Avoid confrontation. Let Mama talk. Let Mama rave. Let Mama do whatever Mama wants to do. Iron your issue out with your husband. I will talk more about that. All right. If you have any question, I'm going to do an episode of Ask Uncle Beno on this channel. And then you can bring any question you have to the table and we can look at it together. I appreciate you guys joining me on today's show. And I want to believe that you have all learned one or two things from this show. If you haven't liked the show yet, please hit the like button. And in case you are wondering, how come we don't have a lot of people watching? Remember that YouTube demonetized this channel. So what happened is that once your channel is demonetized, the first month, the algorithm will not favor it. And I'm even surprised that we are doing show and we're having 22 views. We are having more views. Safe. Usually when they demonetize your channel, you can hardly get maybe 5 or 6 people. So it's okay. From next month, November, the algorithm will pick up again, and then people will start getting notification whenever we are live. If you have any question, do not hesitate to drop it on all our platforms. For those who want to reach out to me on WhatsApp, here is the studio number. You can drop your messages on WhatsApp. If you have any questions you want us to address, drop it on WhatsApp. Now, I'm going to be moving on to the other channel where we're going to discuss some of the things that were shared on Pastor Solar Jordan's page. And it's not looking good. I ain't going to lie. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being part of today's show. I really appreciate you. Don't forget to don't do what I will not do. Okay? This is Uncle Beno channel, and I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Until I come your way again, be a perfect husband, if you can.